Imagine driving down the road in your car and helping to save the world from utter damnation by this thing we call the deep state. Imagine that while you're doing whatever you're doing during the day, you could be reaching hundreds of thousands of people and exposing the evil that's taking place. Just as an average person, you don't even have to be anybody special. You don't have to be on mainstream news, and there you are. About 20 years ago, when 9/11 happened, is when I started to wake up. I was an average Christian. I believed all the typical things that the propaganda tells Christians to believe. I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about the things that are twisted about getting Christians to support for political reasons and for ideologies like getting into wars that Christians don't need to die for, especially for people who are working to get rid of Christians. So I was brainwashed into all these types of beliefs. And slowly, as I prayed and I sought out things, I began to learn that the world is not operating the way it's supposed to. Imagine yourself now having that knowledge and being able to share it with all of your friends. Imagine with all the things that you've learned that you can wake up to that are out there to help warn your friends, warn your family, and then warn your country about what is happening. You're able to prove those things and help to participate in stopping this evil that's taking place, right? Just in your hometown. Maybe it's your school and the stuff that's happening at your school board, or you just want to save your family from the next false flag operation that's taking place. Well, this is something that you can absolutely do. But if you can imagine for yourself, it's like wearing a backpack. And what's been happening to you over the years as the escalation of traumatic events or things that you don't like happening in the world, you're turning on the news and everyone's angry and things keep compiling, the bills go up, you've got elections you don't agree with, you've got lockdowns that took place that you find were just utterly ridiculous, and it's like having this backpack on. And you're walking around and you start with just the basic things in life. Something happened to you early on in life, it's like putting a little rock in your backpack, and that's a little heavy, and you're going along, maybe work's a little stressful, money, whatever, and you're putting little things in your backpack you're already carrying around. Every once in a while, you'll have some kind of accomplishment, you get rid of one of them. But what's happening nowadays is that the deep state, the players, the people involved in all the things making you sick, by poisoning your food and marketing unhealthy things to you, creating food labels that tell you something's healthy but then have 42 chemicals in there hidden under different names, having you go to the doctor because you have a disease, and the doctor is trained to be so arrogant and such an asshole that he's not even listening to you. He's got 2 ex-wives to pay off, and all he cares about is getting the money out of you and the fact that he is not held responsible for anything he does to you, and that includes why he's ignoring most of his patients dying off in a certain amount of time because statistics say it will happen. And the same thing with the police officers pull you over and he's screaming at you, looking for some excuse to make his quota, trying to up his ticket ratio, giving a boost sale on the pulling you over. And you want to change the world. You want to get things straight, and all those things are extra stuff you keep putting in your backpack. You got a family member to get sick and you're like, oh my God, there's stuff online that you can do that shows you absolutely how all these people healed themselves by doing these healthy things, and it works, and it has proof, and it's not a bunch of ghibli jargon. And guess what? They ignore you, and that's another thing in your backpack, and then your family member dies. And now you carry around the weight, the fact they won't listen to you. And you've got all these rocks in the pack, your backpack keeps getting heavier, and to the point where you used to run and now you're kind of barely shuffling along. What if you could finally have evidence, have information to prove, 1, yes, there is a deep state and you can identify them, and 2, there is an agenda that's causing all these things to occur, and why you now have reason to show your family, who is completely in cognitive dissonance and wanting to ignore these things. What if you could save a family member? What if you could save a friend? What if you could show them that there was a deep state, there is an agenda, and they are in control of all these things, and they do want you to get sick, and they are in control of all the stuff that is poisoning us and giving our children ED and then trying to twist their minds in schools. There is an agenda for no reason whatsoever to capture the elections and then make everyone poor. What if you could finally, instead of just trying to randomly blurt out things, have a list of evidence where you say, hey, look, this is undeniable. There is a group that is provably in charge of all of these things, and this group is against you and me. We don't need to fight about left and right, Republican and Democrat. They're controlling both sides, and they're trying to destroy us. What if you could do that? I can tell you what, that backpack would get a whole lot lighter, and you may walk around your country feeling a little bit better, feeling like you had time to now concentrate on enjoying life, to feel like you're in the country that you used to live in. So I ask you, that sounds like a great thing to me. That has been my entire agenda. That has been why we have put so much time and effort into making videos and trying to reach out to people, despite the haters. And of course you're going to get them when you produce these types of things. But you could be right now driving along in your car after making a video and putting it up and showing proof of what you've found and changing the world, just like I am. You could be doing that. But if you're not interested in reaching out to the whole world, you at least want to be able to help your family and help your friends. So what we did is we figured out a good way to chart this and prove it to your friends and family to start with. This is just for you. You don't want to get online and do all this, that's fine. So we have a little mini course. It's basically like, it's called The Formula, and it's basically just a very short booklet that shows you how to create a formula or use the formula to identify the deep state players, the secret group behind causing everything to happen, and what the agenda of this group is, whoever the group is, because I'm not allowed to say online who the group is because I wouldn't be online anymore. So I have to hide things, and that's why I have to use books and courses and things to allow people, because every organization and every group and every YouTube channel who releases and tells people what's going on, what's really happening, they get banned and kicked off. And so you can't even mention the names anymore of the people because you got kicked off. So this is what I've done. And understand this. This is just human psychology, and it's just the way it is. If you don't pay for this, you won't do it. And you won't help your family, and you won't be motivated to do it. And believe me, I've been on here for several years now searching for them, and since they kicked everybody off who was telling the truth about things, you're never going to find the answer. Next time you sit down at a family function or some kind of birthday or holiday, you won't have to walk on eggshells, because everybody will be awake and everyone will know what's going on. So that would be another thing out of your backpack. All right, guys, check out in the link below. You're gonna like doing this because you're gonna be like, I knew it!